Welcome back. It's another Tuesday Talk with Julie. You guys, we made it through another week in quarantine. I've had a lot of conversations with people about just like setting themselves up for success during this time, especially since it's going on longer than we had anticipated. And so today's Tuesday Talk is the 4 steps to help set you up for success during this time. So I'm going to list all four and then we're just going to dive right in. So here it goes. Number 1, establishing a routine. Number 2, setting boundaries. Number 3 is protecting your energy. And number 4, giving yourself grace. All right, let's dive in. So number 1, establishing a routine. This does not mean plan your day in advance, plan your week in advance, plan your month in advance. This simply means baby steps. And it's taking 1 or 2 things that you can make a routine every day, whether it's waking up and going for a walk first thing in the morning, whether it's having breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the same time, or maybe it's the time of day that you work out. It's just 1 or 2 small things that can start to feel like routine over time. For me personally, I have been choosing to work out around like 8 a.m. every day, and I also go for a walk every day. So I shouldn't say that. I go for a walk when it's nice out. So those have become my like new norms, and it feels more routine for me. So don't overcomplicate it and don't make it this big, large plan. Because obviously if you are home with kids and homeschooling, things change every minute, let alone every day. So if there's just like 1 or 2 things that you can put in place, that'll help you feel a little bit more in routine and normal during this time. Number 2 is setting boundaries. So regardless if we're in this situation or not, I always like to say, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. So keeping that in mind, it can feel like there's a lot of free content out there, and we want to like jump on everything from free workouts to free webinars to free coaching calls, and all of that is amazing. And it's so amazing to see people serve the community. And at the same time, if we are jumping on a lot of those, it can like train us. So just make sure you're just setting clear boundaries. So clear boundaries can be like, you are not jumping on calls after this time. Actually, a good example for me is I was tagged in so many push-up videos on Instagram, and I actually chose not to do any of them. That was just like me setting a boundary where I was like, I actually like don't want to participate in this. And I knew if I did one, then I'd have to do the other. So my boundary was just like, nope. I'm just not doing any of that. So set boundaries. And that also looks like, if you are working from home now, the time in which at home you are working and when to cut that off and do something else. That's always a choice. Number 3, protecting your energy. So this can look like limiting the amount of time you watch the news, limiting the amount of time you're on social media, speaking of, limiting the amount of like free stuff you're putting out there. Just all of those things can be very energy draining. So for myself, I've chosen to limit the amount of time I'm watching the news. I don't typically watch the news in general, but I'll either read or watch what's going on so I feel updated once a day, and that's it. Social media, I'm actually not on social media that often as it was before, because it just feels very overwhelming. So I've limited my time there. And then specifically for like fitness wellness professionals, limiting the amount of like free stuff you're putting out there and ensuring that you're saving your protected energy first for your clients and your members. And then if you have more left, then you can like give away the free stuff. And you know how I feel about the free right now. That's just protecting your own energy. And then number 4 is just giving yourself some grace. And that can look like a lot of different things. It can look like, at the beginning of this, my whole mentality was, this time is awesome. I'm going to utilize this time to get so much done. It's like such a good opportunity for us. And although I still feel like that, and I still feel like a lot of the things on the back burner I have the time to do now, I'm also giving myself some grace. Like last weekend, Saturday and Sunday, yes, I worked out Saturday, but then all of Saturday and Sunday, you bet your bum I was on the couch, like watching TV, watching movies. And for I'd say a couple seconds, I had in my head, oh, I should be doing this, or I should be working on this. And I gave myself some grace. And I was like, no, like you actually never sit down on the couch and actually just like enjoy it. So give yourself some grace and honor how you're feeling in that moment and what your body needs and what your mind needs. And just like there's really no need for forgiveness, I guess, but I would just say give yourself some grace. It's okay to be doing what you need to be doing right now. You don't have to do all of the things. You don't have to create something. You don't have to like do XYZ. It's what feels good for you right now in this moment. So honor that. Those are my 4 steps for setting you up for success during this time: routine, boundaries, protecting your energy, and giving yourself some grace. I'd love to know how that resonated with you, and if you've established a routine so far, like what that is. If you've set boundaries, what are they? How do you protect your energy? And I hope you're giving yourself some grace during this time, because it is much needed, and your body and your mind are probably thanking you. So till next time, Tuesday Talk with Julie. See you next week.